Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 23rd of October. Indian Foreign Minister inaugurates developmental projects funded by India in Bangladesh. Pakistan's finance minister appears before court for 7th time in corruption reference. And attacks by insurgent groups kill over 200 in recent days in Afghanistan. And now for all the details. Municipal authorities in India have been directed by the Environment Pollution Authority to curb garbage burning and road dust in capital New Delhi. This comes as air quality continues to remain poor post-Diwali, the Hindu festival of lights, which marked bursting of firecrackers.
Indian capital New Delhi has been grappling with hazardous level of pollution for days now. Air pollution in the capital city jumped manifold last week after a night of fireworks to celebrate the Hindu festival of Diwali. Looking at the worsened quality of air in the region, the Environment Pollution Prevention and Control Authority or EPCA have directed the municipal authorities to curb garbage burning and road dust, the two major factors contributing to air pollution.
We have directed concerned municipal authorities and other authorities to ensure that garbage burning does not take place. Anybody indulging in such activity will be fined, and the fine amount is quite substantial. Patrol parties have been formed by concerned municipal authorities.
Lal said that urgent dust control measures will also be taken up as part of the larger action plan to contain pollution levels in the capital. Meanwhile, air quality in the region is slightly improving, with air quality index or AQI recorded at lower than 300 but still remains unhealthy.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the country's first roll-on roll-off ferry service in western Gujarat province on Sunday. The ferry service is considered to be a revolutionary step for India in transport and logistics.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the first phase of $99 million roll-on roll-off or Ro-Ro ferry service in his home province Gujarat on Sunday. This is South Asia's first world-class Ro-Ro ferry service connecting Ghoga and the Dahej towns of the province and allowing vehicles with passengers aboard. It will cut the travel time between the two townships from 7 hours to an hour by reducing the usual road distance of 217 miles to a mere 18 miles by sea. Prime Minister Modi, who visited his home province for the third time within a span of a single month, said the service will not only make life easier for the people but will also bring them closer.
गोगा दहेज के बीच से फेरी सर्विस सौराष्ट्र और दक्षिण गुजरात के करोड़ों लोगों की जिंदगी को न सिर्फ आसान बनाएगी बल्कि उन्हें और निकट ले आएगी। जिस सफर में 7-8 घंटे लगते थे वो सफर 1-1.25 घंटे में पूरा किया जा सकेगा।
Prime Minister Modi had laid the foundation stone for the project in January 2012 when he was the Chief Minister of the province. He also addressed an election rally in the Dahej town where he reached through the ferry service and reiterated his government's emphasis on modernizing and development of ports along the country's 4,660 miles long coastline to boost economic growth.
Moving on, Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj on Monday opened the new complex of the Indian High Commission in Dhaka. Swaraj, who was on a 2-day visit to Bangladesh, also launched 15 development projects being funded by India in the country.
Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj on Monday inaugurated the new Chancery complex of the Indian High Commission in Dhaka. Swaraj, who was on a 2-day official visit to Bangladesh, also lodged 15 development projects being funded by India in the country. The 15 development projects worth about $8.7 million are in the areas of education, healthcare, information technology, water supply and social welfare.
Friends, I am delighted to inaugurate the new Chancery complex of the High Commission of India. I deeply appreciate the cooperation extended by the Government of Bangladesh in the construction of this beautiful complex. This project is reflective of our friendship with Bangladesh and our commitment to further strengthen our relations with you.
Swaraj arrived in Bangladesh on Sunday for the annual meeting of the India-Bangladesh Joint Consultative Commission with her counterpart A.H. Mahmood Ali. During the event, she reassured India's support to end Rohingya crisis. On Sunday, she also met Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in Dhaka and held talks of mutual interest.
In news from Pakistan, Pakistan's Finance Minister Ishaq Dar appeared before the Accountability Court for the 7th time on Monday. The court is hearing a corruption case against him filed by the National Accountability Bureau for owning assets beyond known sources of income. The court recorded the statements of 2 prosecution witnesses on Monday. The witnesses, both officials of 2 private banks, recorded their statements, and one of them also submitted details of an account owned by Dar inside the Parliament House. The hearing was then adjourned until October 31st. Massive demonstrations were held across Pakistan-administered Kashmir and London on Sunday to mark Black Day. Protesters held anti-Pakistan protest and demanded independence from Islamabad's illegal occupation. October 22nd is marked as Black Day, as in 1947, on the same day the Pakistan Army invaded the then princely state of Jammu and Kashmir.
Residents in several parts of Pakistan-administered Kashmir held anti-Pakistan protests and rallies on Sunday to mark Black Day. On this day in 1947, Pakistan had violated all international norms and the military had sent tribals to invade the then princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. Hundreds of agitated people took to streets and also held public meeting in Bagh city demanding freedom from Islamabad's illegal occupation.
हम ये कहना चाहते हैं कि ये इस तरह का जुल्म और नाइंसाफी, ये लड़ाइयाँ लड़ते हैं, हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिक पावर हमारे सोसाइटी में बन रहे हैं, हमारी रियासत में बन रहे हैं, हमारे इलाकों में बन रहे हैं, लेकिन हमें उस पे हक नहीं दिया जाता, हमें उसके बारे में बात करने की इजाजत नहीं है, ये तुम्हारे बाप की जागीर नहीं है.
Meanwhile, Kashmiri activists also held a demonstration outside the Pakistan High Commission in London on Sunday to mark the Black Day. The protesters chanted anti-Pakistan slogans and demanded an end to the forceful occupation in Pakistan-administered Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan. They also called for an immediate withdrawal of Pakistani forces from their territory as per the UN Security Council resolution.
मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि पाकिस्तान के हुक्मरानों ने इस नाम निहाद आजाद कश्मीर के अंदर जो हुकूमत आजाद कश्मीर कायम कर रखी है, उसके पास कोई इख्तियारात नहीं है. ये पाकिस्तान के पेड एजेंट हैं, ये पाकिस्तान के दलाल हैं. इन्होंने आज तक जम्मू कश्मीर की हकीकी आजादी के लिए आवाज बुलंद नहीं की है. इन्होंने आज तक रियासत जम्मू कश्मीर के लोगों को रोजगार नहीं दिया है.
Months after the partition of British India into India and Pakistan in 1947, the Pakistani forces attacked the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir and indulged in plunder and the killing of innocents on an unprecedented level. They employed the tribals known as Qabailis to change the demography of Jammu and Kashmir by executing genocide on the people.
Moving on to news from Afghanistan, insurgent attacks in recent times have created havoc and left a devastating impact in Afghanistan. Reports suggest that over 220 civilians and military personnel have been killed and hundreds more wounded in the attacks.
Attacks by both Taliban and Islamic State in Afghanistan in recent days have reportedly left over 220 civilians and military personnel dead and hundreds more wounded. In the latest attack on Saturday, at the entrance gate to the Marshal Fahim Military Academy near capital Kabul, 15 cadets were killed when the bus they were travelling in was targeted in a suicide bombing. On Friday, attacks on 2 mosques, one in Kabul and one in Ghor, left at least 59 people dead and many others wounded. Last week's deadly attack on police headquarters in Paktia province also claimed over 70 lives, including the provincial police chief. The Ministry of Defence has assured the public that plans are in place to suppress the activities of insurgent groups.
کاش به استخبارات ما بسیار زیاد کوشش میکنند که فعال باشند و اینطور راپورها را اگر میگیرند پیش از اینکه اجراش و این را خنثی بسازند.
Meanwhile, Anwarul Haq Ahadi, chairman of the New National Front Party, condemned the Afghan government for being unable to provide security.
موقف‌های عمده امنیتی را به کسایی داده که اونا کفایت کاری را ندارند اونجا کدام تخصص کاری به ارتباط ندارند.
He pointed out that recent incidents are indicative of the government's failure.
In news from Nepal, nominations for first phase of federal and provincial polls are over in 32 districts of Nepal. A total of 802 candidates filed nominations on Sunday for the polls scheduled to be held on November 26th.
"802 candidates have filed nominations for the first phase of federal and provincial parliamentary elections in Nepal. The nomination process for the polls began on Sunday, with nominations filed in 32 districts. According to Nepal's Election Commission, 320 candidates submitted their papers for 37 constituencies of House of Representatives, and 482 candidates filed nominations for 74 state assembly constituencies. The final list of candidates will be published on Wednesday, and nominations in remaining 45 districts will be filed on November 2. While the polling for the first phase is scheduled to be held on November 26, the second and final round will take place on December 7. As per the new constitution of Nepal, it is necessary to complete local, provincial and parliament elections by January 21 next year. Local elections have been successfully completed last month.
Locals in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province enthusiastically participated in a boat race competition organised by the army. This competition is part of an ongoing fair in the valley aimed at promoting tourism as well as engaging youth in the sports.
A large number of youth in India's northern Srinagar city enthusiastically participated in a boat race at Scenic Dal Lake on Sunday. At least 72 shikaras or houseboats raced for glory in the boat race, held as part of an ongoing youth fair in the valley. Initiated by the Indian Army, the ongoing fair has been organised to promote tourism in the valley as well as engage youth in healthy competitions.
ये जो शिकारा रेस हुआ था जो आर्मी ने ऑर्गेनाइज़ किया था, इससे एक अच्छी मैसेज आ रही है क्योंकि टूरिज़म रिलेटेड एक्टिविटी है। आपने देखा कि वी पीपल हैव नेचुरल वाटर रिसोर्सेज, बहुत फ्लैट वाटर एंड वाइल्ड वाटर। जब तक हम ऐसी एक्टिविटीज़ नहीं करेंगे तो मुझे लगता है ये पूरे मुल्क में मैसेज तब तक नहीं जाएगी।
टूरिज़म में और बढ़ेगा। हम टूरिज़म को भी रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं वो इधर आए कश्मीर में, यहाँ पे घूमे फिरे, यहाँ पे अच्छा है। कश्मीर तो बहुत खूबसूरत है और डल लेक के अंदर आए घूमने के लिए।
Earlier, as part of the ongoing fair in the region, locals were enthralled with a musical concert where an Indian pop singer, Lucky Ali, crooned his chart-topping songs. The concert also included performances by some local singers and musicians. Locals appreciated the efforts of the army and urged for more such events in the province.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Indian Foreign Minister inaugurates developmental projects funded by India in Bangladesh. Pakistan's Finance Minister appears before court for 7th time in corruption reference. And attacks by insurgent groups kill over 200 in recent days in Afghanistan. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.